Hello again, fellow basement dwellers. This is your good friend Patrick O'Dowd, welcoming you to another edition of Bandwagon Nerds. Bandwagon Nerds is, of course, brought to you as a part of the Chairshot Radio Network here on thechairshot.com, and we're going to see if this works when we remind you to always use your head.
Thechairshot.com. Always
I'm leaning
use
towards no.
your
We're going to say
head.
no for right now. So, yep.
Thechairshot.com.
There we go.
Always use your
It's
head.
no sound
Welcome
today,
in.
apparently.
Yeah, this is just how technology goes sometimes, but that's okay. We persevere here on the bandwagon. Thank you, everyone who is listening live here on our streaming channels. Thank you for everyone who's listening to us on Monday. Just remember, you can always catch us live around 2 p.m. Eastern every Sunday for Bandwagon Nerds. Usually, it's a bigger bandwagon. This week, it is myself, Patrick O'Dowd, your good friend, number one chair shot villain, and just the commissioner, the executive vice president of Wednesday programming, the Mr. Saturday Night himself, our good friend PC Tunney. No Dave, maybe Ray later, but I don't know. Ray, unfortunately, life got in the way of poor Ray. So pay no attention to the fact that you're stuck with the two of us. We continue here on the bandwagon. Mr. Tunney, how are you doing today?
I'm good. It doesn't matter what soundbar I use, I eventually crash it. So there we go. I'm undefeated. Undefeated.
Okay.
The Riverside soundbar is crashed. So you just get, whether it's the video or the audio, it's just Patrick and I.
I've learned so much about what I can't do while running Riverside, and I think part of it, and actually running any of our other platforms that we've used in the past, whether it's been Teams or Zoom or any of those, I have really had to where folks, we'll pull the curtain back a little bit. So like I send out these rundowns to the guys usually around Saturday evening ahead of the show, and I will include like the trailers that we're going to talk about for the trailer park, but I also include articles of things we're going to talk about. By the way, we're cutting number 7 with no lawyer here. It makes no point to talk about a lawsuit. So I cannot speak to anything that is going to happen. So we aren't going to talk about the fact that a bunch of users are suing Paramount over their merger, calling it an antitrust suit, because I know jack and shit about that. Tunney probably knows about as much as I do, and Dave, our lawyer, not here. So we're gonna cut that out. We'll move on with our lives. I'm sure it'll get thrown out anyway because the machine that is this merger just continues to troll for. But I have learned that there are certain websites that I cannot, like I like to try to open them and read for them on the show. And for example, Variety, can't run Variety. If I run a Variety article while running a stream or recording a show, the bandwidth messes up my connection to the studio. And while I may not be lost entirely from the recording, I lose you guys at different points in time. Just did an episode, learned CBS Sports, also not a website I can use. ESPN, no problem. So just, Patrick O'Dowd's Four Corners problems, hashtag Four Corners problems right there. So
that's why I all my research is on my phone, so I leave my browser.
That's right. I'm just so
shit.
as feedback was given not too long ago that like we should be staring at our phones. No, I'm
starting the show with transferring the social media everywhere right now, so I apologize. It's less noticeable when there's 4 of us. The things I have to do at the start.
Right. Well, and I'm terrible with this little brick. Like I still don't use it. Everybody got a quick flash.
95% of my X usage is on my phone. It's just how I learned how to navigate.
Well, and it's funny because of the way that, like you mentioned X and our chat, like I still share links to videos to you guys through those chats, and it leaves no thumbnails. And then y'all are like, well, I'm not gonna look at that. There's no thumbnail. And so now I'm like, I apologize for that. I shared 2 great YouTube videos that I'm sure nobody watched that were little featurettes of the Masters of the Universe films going into the heroes and villains of the show and kind of explained who some of these characters were and got a good look at them. So fun stuff that's out there that we're not going to talk about in the trailer park. But anyway, I think I figured out, I mentioned to you when we were talking about Four Corners before we got on, feeling a little under it. I think I'm still recovering from my experience with the Little O'Dowd at Six Flags New England, where the Superman roller coaster ride messed me up.
You've been done feed.
I've been
Modern
dumb feet.
Family.
Yes.
Yeah.
I have for years, everybody knows this because of the Disney trips and things, all the listeners, if you've listened to this podcast, you know there's at some point where I go off and hang out with the mouse. It's one of the things that Dave and I have in common. But out here in New England, we have Six Flags New England, which has a banger of a roller coaster based around Superman, the character Superman. And it has a very awesome, hard first hill, which is with a damn near like vertical drop. It's really intense. And that momentum then immediately goes into a series of other hills. And those hills, like when you hit the peaks of those, you start to go down, like it lifts you. Well, as we were going over one of those hills, I was completely discombobulated, completely disoriented. And the next thing I know, I felt like I was going to die the rest of the day. Hey, thank goodness for the fried dough I ate afterwards to help settle my stomach with some grease and sugar. It was delightful. But man alive, the Little O'Dowd was like, "Can I bring a friend next time?" Because and I'm like, probably gonna need to, because you're gonna need a ride or die, because there's gonna be certain rides where I don't think I can do it anymore, and that hurts.
Son, we're getting close to the point where one of these next times, Dad's just going to be dropping you and a friend off.
It's crazy. You can only do that up until like 4 p.m. at this park. After 4 p.m., if you are under the age of 17, you have to have a chaperone that's 21 years of age or older, because those kids, those hooligans, they're up to no good.
Well,
They're up to no good at Six Flags.
Much like a person and people, a child is okay, but children mainly, when they gather together, and Patrick found this out firsthand on a class field trip, are just the biggest group of assholes ever in the world are teenagers. They don't care about anyone but how they are perceived by other teenagers. That's all they care about.
Right. It was very much an experience,
in a different way in our time.
Right. And that's the thing, is I keep trying to tell myself, well, I wasn't like bullshit. I was just as awful as these kids are now. It's just where they are in their development. But hey, that's not this podcast. This podcast is not child development. No, this podcast is Bandwagon Nerds, and we've got two nerds here. And as you know, this show doesn't take a Sunday off. We don't. Since this show has debuted, we have not taken a week off. This week is no different. We still have a trailer park. I already named the show Everybody Dies based on our two episode reviews that we're going to do today with both The Boys and Daredevil, because people just be dying, man.
Can I just say, having the posting responsibilities today, I appreciate that. And since I have posting responsibilities today, I've already named Four Corners, so you can just find out Tuesday.
Yeah, it'll be exciting. I'm sure it has something to do with the playoffs in the Kentucky Derby. Like if I were to guess, because that would be primarily what we talked about. But
dang,
we got our usual eclectic trailer park. I appreciate the vocal sound effects. We're both working this out together. We are of course going to talk about Daredevil Born Again season 2, The Boys episode 5 of their final season. We have some more Disney news and the Oscars going. Taking a stand on generative AI in entertainment. So a lot to talk about. With only two of us, it usually means a little bit of a shorter show, but that's okay, because you know what? People got time and people got things to do. So let's dive right into it. We will not cue up the human banjos, because we all know how I feel about that, and I still must be a villain.
Of constant sorrow.
I haven't watched that movie in so long, and this is like back-to-back episodes where we have referenced "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?" and it's like, where is that streaming? I might have to look that one up. It's been a hot minute. Another movie that I know you'll appreciate, that I just haven't watched in a really long time, that I just feel is worth the journey. The Big Lebowski. Just haven't had a chance to, but with bowling season winding down, it's the last week of the fall seasons here in May. And my team on both my Monday night and Thursday night league, Tony, we are in the title hunt in both leagues.
Hey.
Have a championship roll off tomorrow, Monday, or today if you're listening to the recording, and then on Thursday, my team it's just based on standings, and we need to win one game. Need to win one game on Thursday to claim that title and get us some monies, some bowling for dollars. But the worst that my team can finish is second place at this point. So go us. Oh, it is. It's on Netflix. Nice. Oh, brother, where art thou on Netflix?
No, not though. My bad. Get rid of the GH.
Well, was it a spell check issue?
Nope, it was a tonnage issue. For some
because
reason, it's spelled though instead of thou.
But it does kind of change the way you say the title. You're like, oh, brother, we're out though.
Where art thou?
Yeah. Anyway, let's jump into the trailer park. I went with some eclectic trailers today, some throwbacks, a revisit from a series that we talked about last week in what I thought was just kind of funny in the way things broke down, and then a show with an unexpected season 4 finally get in its teaser trailer. But we're going to start with a documentary of a comedian that I don't know how you feel about, but was never like my favorite comedian in the world, but was always a guy who in a film or a show I enjoy and respect as a character comedian. And that is it's a Netflix documentary coming out May 12th. So in about 9 days. It's titled Marty, Life is Short, and it is about the life of Martin Short. And much like a lot of these other documentaries that we've talked about, where lately a lot of comedians from the 80s, famous comedic actors from the 80s getting documentaries. I just kind of looking back, John Candy, I Like Me, Eddie Murphy had a Netflix documentary. Steve Martin has had a documentary, a 2-part documentary on Apple TV. Now we've got this Martin Short one. There's just been like, this seems to be the time where we're getting a lot of these comedians chronicled. And Martin Short, he's never a guy that I necessarily am like, oh, this guy is he's always a guy that I feel like makes movies better for me, but I'm not like this, like I must find Martin Short at all costs. But just watching this, it looks like it's using a lot of archival footage. Again, the late Catherine O'Hara is one of the people that talks. Is, a lot of Canadian comedians have been getting their time to shine. But Tom Hanks is in this one. Steve Martin, obviously, those two are so connected from as far back as why am I going to forget it? The Three Amigos. His Saturday Night Live work. Was it Jiminy Glick? Was that the critic character that he was big? And I always forget the other character. Was something Brimley.
The guy with the pointed
Grimley, yeah, with the little pointed
hair. That was a SNL
skit. Yeah, it was an SNL.
And don't forget
character.
SCT, all his SCTV stuff.
SCTV. Oddly enough, you know what my favorite Martin Short film though is of all time? Inner Space.
Nice.
Inner Space, where Dennis
they shrink
Quaid,
the thing down that goes into the body.
It is his body.
I've seen that in the
because he's such a physical comedian in the way, a lot of what makes Martin Short great.
He's the bad guy. Yeah, it's his body, right?
Right. It's his body that is possessed, or is not possessed, but like is being explored because he gets accidentally injected with this. The character was supposed to be injected into a rabbit, but his his physical movements, and just because he's not always in control of his body, it's an underrated comedy that is very 80s, but I loved it. He worked at a grocery store. People think he's going crazy. That's my favorite Martin Short film. But I look forward to these. This is like peak entertainment for middle-aged white guys. Is biographies about comedians from my youth, and so I'm all in. And we'll be checking this out on Netflix when it hits. What is if you had to pick something that Martin Short did, what would be your go-to? What would you suggest someone check out if you wanted them to understand who Martin Short is?
Like from the TV side, currently he's hosting Match Game and on Only Murders in the Building, which I hear is very, very good with him.
Which is its final season too.
Selena Gomez. It's a
hell of a
really
run.
Good cast. Like I saw the Three Amigos in the movie theater. That was huge, right? Like I know of his SNL work. Obviously, he was the ice bad guy in Santa Claus 3, I guess.
Yeah, he's Jack Frost.
He was
I watch it every year.
the weird little dude in Clifford. He was the wedding planner in Princess of the Bride, or Father of the Bride,
Father of the Bride. Yeah,
Father of
the Princess of the Bride. He just merged
yeah,
2 movies there. That was very nice.
I did. And I would have to say though, 2 of his movies that are some of my favorites. Some people forget about him and Nick Nolte in Three Fugitives with the little girl.
Oh, I've never seen that.
That's really good. It's from 1989. And then one of the greatest comedic movies of all time, Captain Ron.
He's the dad, right?
He's the dad.
Because yes. Kurt Russell is Captain Ron.
Yep. And then there's a little known movie. Who is all in this? Yeah, it was him and Danny Glover in a movie called Pure Luck back in the day.
I remember that one. Yes, that is a good flick as well. So I think this is worth the time to check out. I love these sorts of things. I love seeing these people's lives and them reflecting on their lives and careers. Go ahead.
There are a couple within the last decade. I don't know. It's definitely within the last 10 years, probably even less than that. A couple of comedic specials that Martin Short and Steve Martin did together that are excellent. So check those out where you can find them from the recent past.
I genuinely regret they on their last tour they came through the casino. I didn't know about it until it was too late.
Yeah.
It was like there's another. Sorry, just a little off topic. Hasan Minhaj and Ronnie Chang from The Daily Show are doing the name of it is like I hate Ronnie Chang or I hate Hasan Minhaj, and it's the two of them like together, like hating each other on the stage. And I literally learned about it like it's one of those things like a social media ad popped up like 2 days before their show, and I couldn't make it. I was so upset because I love both those guys. I think they're both hilarious and would have loved to have seen them. Missed out. So oh well. Speaking of the Wayback Machine, our next film, no plot involved. There's no real story here. But 20 years ago or so, at this point, 25 years or so, I do believe, a little show showed up on MTV hosted by a guy named Johnny Knoxville called Jackass. And it was literally this collection of mostly stunt people doing ridiculous shit both out in the world and just to themselves. And it was a show that I was in my, mid-20s at this point. I remember being like, well, yeah, these guys are jackasses because they were literally just doing like snorting wasabi. I very much remember the snorting wasabi sketch with Steve-O. It's not even a sketch, just they were snorting wasabi.
They used the power stapler to staple like a note to his balls one episode.
Right. Like they did all this just horrible, painful things, and we laughed at it right along with them. Like Steve-O would do something that would hurt himself, or Johnny Knoxville, or any of those guys, Wee Man, any of them. Something ridiculous would happen to them. They'd get hurt, and we'd laugh right along with them as it happened. And that show went on for I don't even know how long, and then turned into 5. We're up to our 5th movie, and this one's titled this was titled if
you had the half sin.
What's that?
If you had the half sin,
because I was like, I literally,
yeah, no, you're right.
You're right. Because I literally typed Jackass 5, and that's how I got
you're right.
that on the YouTube for it. This one is called The Best and Last. There's a robot apparently about to do some level of prostate rectal work on old Steve-O with some thick fingers. It looks like it's also a retrospective on the stuff that they've done over the 20-some years. And according to everybody involved, this is truly it for the Jackass crew. Tony, did you watch Jackass back in the day? Like, were you there?
October of 2000 is when Jackass premiered on
So
MTV.
26 years ago.
Yeah.
Basically.
And like, I never wanted to go out and do the stuff, but like, I was like all about watching the train wreck, right? I was all about rubbernecking on the freeway. Yeah, like, and then as we were, we were just about coming into of drinking age, me and my friends, because we never
Oh,
drank before we turned 21.
no,
Um,
no.
so I would,
It's against the law, kids.
as you'd get stupider when you finally started, really drinking all, enough, and guys would want to do this kind of shit, I would kindly remind everybody right before that part of the evening came out of the fellas, I am faster, stronger, and bigger than all of you. I will not mess with any of you. ...
Fair enough. If there
I
wasn't
love
an
to watch it.
FAFO,
Love to watch it. Don't shave my head while I'm sleeping, or I'll punch you in the face.
FAFO, that's what I'm hearing.
Here's the thing, though. Think about all the shows that came from it, like Wild Boys, Viva La Bam, Dr.
Yep.
Steve-O, Bam's Unholy Union. I mean, like,
Well,
R.I.P. Ryan Dunn. I wish he was
and if
still
you would have
around
told me that Johnny Knoxville would become a legit actor, like whether it be a co-star or he led a few not so great movies.
WrestleMania participant Johnny
WrestleMania
Knoxville.
participant. It's amazing what that show actually spawned when you really think about it. Like you think, like I always think about various comedians and famous actors like Adam Sandler. Do you remember where Adam Sandler really got first seen?
Besides SNL?
Yeah, before SNL. He was on Remote Control on MTV. He was an actor that he would come out and do different little side performances on the game show Remote
That was
Control.
Colin Quinn, right?
He was the host.
Yeah,
but Adam Sandler was like they would like there'd be like little sketches and he would come out and like act things out that were clues or something for the contestants.
Yeah,
and
I remember.
That's a very young Adam Sandler. Yeah.
One time MTV, he came out, he was like, remote control.
Very much so. Yes, and that's the thing. That's kind of a shame with MTV going. How many careers got launched out of MTV when they started moving away from music videos?
Combine SNL and MTV and what they accomplished together. Good
right,
God.
Very much so. So, yeah, Jackass, the best and last, coming to theaters. We got our first look. It looks like it's going to be, if this is your jam, you're going to love it.
You're going to watch it, right?
Probably. I don't know that I'll go to the theater to see it, but
no,
because I was never a big Jackass guy. It was a little before after my time, but it was there.
I feel like you need to be in the right state of mind to watch Jackass as well, which I'm not all for traveling around the country to do that.
But here's the thing now, I will say now that more and more theaters are serving alcohol at the theater, like a beer and Jackass might be your jam. Like, go nuts.
I'd rather not
you personally, but like a person.
No. But in all honesty, like as someone whose main tagline on their podcast of more than a decade is "Don't drink and drive, drink and podcast." Like I literally
don't drink and drive.
I literally do not drink and drive. I used to. I'm not gonna lie. Everybody who goes to bars and drinks does it, but don't do it. Sorry, PSA. Serious moment.
Look at us having deep thoughts with Jack Handey.
If a dumpster tips over going around the bend and all the garbage spills out. ... Who will pick it up? Deep Thoughts by Jack Handey.
Oh God. Oh, anyway, we could talk about Jack Handey quotes forever. That was one of my favorite sketches.
Oh, could we bring back like a SNL quotes 5x5?
Do a special 5x5. I can't remember the exact quote, but there's one where he talks about taking his kid to Disneyland, but taking him to a junkyard and saying that Disneyland burned down, and the kid being upset, but he thought it was funny. And it's fucking hilarious. Like, I don't know, it's messed up, but it's hilarious. So go search for that one, kids. Speaking of things I'm not going to see in the theater and may not even see at all, we got our first look at the newest attempt to turn the Resident Evil video game franchise into a film. And it's brought to you by the same guy that brought us Weapons, which was an awesome movie. Little O'Dowd and I watched it when it hit HBO. This guy is a legit director. But as I was watching this trailer of a guy running through a field with a med kit and something else, talking to his girlfriend on a phone in a farmhouse, this is definitely a nod to the later Resident Evil films, like the rebooted ones. This is going to be old man yells at cloud moment, Tony. It's not my Resident Evil. Like, my Resident Evil really was those old Raccoon City, the Stars team cops investigating something going wrong at a lab. And this isn't that. And this trailer as a teaser really didn't show me that it's anything more than a zombie flick, like just a new zombie flick with the Resident Evil name on it. And I've seen videos that are sharing all the Easter eggs and nods to the video games. That's great, but ultimately, it just doesn't. It didn't do it for me. And I know that unfortunately, you're the only other host on the show today, big horror guy that you are. Like, I knew this wasn't going to be a trailer that you were going to really want to talk about anyway, and doubly bad with no Ray and no Dave, because Dave, I think, put a little fire emoji next to it. Like, he was like, yes. And I was like, okay, man, like, I don't.
Yeah, the half of the bandwagon that should be here is not unfortunately. Patrick is a horror guy, but not a Resident Evil guy so much, and I'm definitely not either, unfortunately. So I don't really want to give any uneducated opinion on it, as just to say that it's not my jam. But for people like Patrick, or people like not Patrick, people like Dave, who I know are excited, I hope it's good, and I hope it's good for the fanship of said genre.
I got to admit, I have a soft spot in my heart for the old Mila Jovovich Resident Evil movies, because they were just so over the top.
I have a. Never mind. I'm not going to.
Yeah, it's not so soft. That's all I'm saying.
That's pretty much where we were going.
I got you. Yeah. This is an R-rated podcast, so it's fine.
Yeah, you started the day out like that on Four Corners, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember what I was talking some trash about.
It wasn't Boston. That bad. Got
a little carried away.
That's okay. Kids learn eventually.
Boston, man. I hate that.
Yeah.
I hate those teams.
Wicked, awesome. Fuck them.
Right. So last week, I didn't share a trailer. I shared a vignette of the upcoming Amazon MGM series Spider Noir, because it was focusing on the villains, Silvermane, Sandman, Kilowatt, not Kilowatt, I can't, Megawatt or something like. I can't remember what
I think it is. Megawatt. Let me recheck it out, because that was a really interesting character.
Tombstone, like, it was going through and showing all these different characters. I was like, oh, well, we're not really getting a trailer, but we're getting this. And then literally the day that the podcast dropped on the network, not the live stream, but the day the podcast dropped, we get a true Spider Noir trailer, both in black and white and in color. I love the way they're marketing this thing. I love the way that they're showing this, like, these two different ways to watch. I really was. This was a fun trailer, and I watched it in the black and white version. I didn't watch it in the color version, and I think that they're really nailing something here with this. This is really unique. It's really interesting. Brendan Gleeson looks amazing. You had everything that you want out of a classic 1930s noir thriller. You had the femme fatale. You have the damaged private eye, played by Nick Cage. And you have Spider-Man villains. This supernatural element is introduced in the form of these sort of what they call monsters. Electro's the OG, but this is a lesser known.
It's Megawatt then.
Megawatt, I think, is the name. But so we get this full-on trailer. The thing that I thought that was the most interesting is that it does appear, and I don't remember the Spider-Man Noir comics nearly as well as I used to. Megawatt is the name. I remember the OG comic, the Spider Noir comic, where Ben Reilly didn't have powers necessarily. He just did Spider-Man like stuff with the look. He had grappling hooks and was very much set for the time. This very much looks like at some point Ben Reilly will have spider powers. Like, he's shooting webs. He's doing all of the Spider-Man stuff. I think this thing looks cool. I'm very excited to watch it. I will probably cover this if I have my choice. Like, I think we will, because by the time it debuts at the end of May, I think we're done with both of Daredevil. Will be done with for sure. The Boys will be close. And the way that
how many episodes in The Boys?
8.
Then
this was episode 5. It'll be close.
It'll be 6, 7, 8. It'll work out perfectly. We'll have no gaps. Which is interesting because, like when you're playing fantasy sports and then all of a sudden there's no fantasy sports, you're like, shit, I wish I had fantasy sports,
Right. It is. You got to make sure you have it. So, this trailer looks great. I'm excited for it. I think you are too. I think you've been relatively positive on it. So, anything that you want to add about Spider Noir, because we did cover a lot of it last week, and I do think this was more of the same. I could not share it after I was like, well, we didn't get a trailer, but we got this featurette, and then sure enough, boom, there we go.
So I just want to reiterate the cool part that this is going to be shown in black and white and in color, and we all agreed that we were going to watch it in black and white, but I feel like I'm going to have to keep like the whiteboard next to me and mark down parts and times where I'm like, ooh, I want to see this happen in color, what they did there. But and just to reiterate another thing is the awesome conceptualization they have of Megawatt and Sandman and what was the other villain? There was one other one that
Tombstone.
was just like Tombstone. The transitions and the powers being elevated and heightened in a visual sense inside of that black and white format. I'm really looking forward to the cinematography and the art of the execution of this series. It's a series.
Yeah, it looks gorgeous. It looks gorgeous.
Obviously.
This series looks gorgeous. So I'm very, very excited for it. And yeah, and I know Dave is, and I think Ray is as well. So I think this will be an easy one for us to talk about over the summer.
I might have to go down to like the Thunderdome by DP and watch it on the biggest screen that I can.
Ooh, yeah, turn out all the lights. You guys can cuddle around a.
Maybe I'll wait till he's on vacation and I'll go over sneak in. I don't have to worry about him sneaking up on me.
Do the Dick Van Dyke,
or you could do the
stretch your arms.
You could do the Costanza. What's George Costanza's dad's first name?
Oh Christ,
Frank Costanza. You could do the stop short where he hits the brakes real hard and puts his arm out, get a feel, stop short.
That's nothing like a little sexual assault to get your day going here on the bandwagon.
It was the 50s.
It's a different time, son. It was a different time.
It's like Soldier Boy's peak era. There was no political.
Oh boy, Soldier Boy. We're gonna get to that after our commercial break. But let's go to our last trailer.
Do you need knee pads?
Right. Oh boy. So first of all, wow, typo on my rundown, but that's okay. We got our first official look at Ted Lasso, season 4, the season nobody thought was coming, and then, well, I'm just gonna say it, money probably had something to do with it.
Ding.
Because we got everybody back. Well, we got most everybody back. The only so we get this about a minute.
I got a cash register sound effect too. You ready? Ka-ching.
Very much so. And Bill Lawrence is sitting on a throne of cash right now with the number of shows that he is just cranking out. Scrubs just got its reboot season. Got a season 2.
Yep.
It's officially renewed. Ted Lasso, Rooster's been renewed. They're adding a 4th season of Shrinking. Like.
Wow, you're listening to this show.
And here's the thing: is if Bill Lawrence comes out in an interview and says this series is a 3-season arc, don't believe him because we're just gonna get a 4th season. He said that about Shrinking. We're getting a season 4. He said that about Ted Lasso. We're getting a season 4, and most everybody in this trailer was shown to be back. We got to see Roy Kent, Keeley, Ted. Why am I forgetting Hannah Waddington's character's name? Rebecca, the boss. All of the characters are back except for we didn't see Nathan Shelley, the guy who plays Nathan Shelley, and we didn't see Jamie Tart, which doesn't necessarily surprise me because the guy who's playing Jamie Tart is currently on Rooster, playing basically Jamie Tart but with a PhD.
I gotta be Dave Grohl here, and not as big a confession as his most recent one, but
You've never watched it, right?
But I got another confession to make, my friend. No, I haven't watched season 3 yet.
Oh, that's okay. I season 3 is fine. Season 3 feels a little rushed, in my opinion.
Okay.
But it's good. It's very good.
Very
I wouldn't say that it's K. I wouldn't say it's that bad. Like, it's good, but it's not.
It's J?
Yeah. JK. It is very much to me like there are some things that happen. Like, you get to the end of season 2, and everything that happens at the end of season 2, which that's been around for enough. So Nathan Shelley's big betrayal of Ted is how we wrap up season 2 of Ted Lasso, and then he is coaching with Rupert owning West Ham, and is it West Ham? No, it's not West Ham. But whatever, one of the teams, like one of the big rival teams, and it's like this big question mark about what next season is going to be like.
Did he go to Aston Villa?
I can't remember wherever he goes. It's one of the, like, they basically buy one of the top teams in the Premier League. He takes over as coaching. They're doing really, really well. At least that's the impression you're given. As the end of season 2 is Nathan Shelley overseeing practice as a head, as the coach, and so that season just, it felt like it needed it. It almost felt like it had too many plot lines, because it really delves into a lot of other side characters that you're not necessarily expecting, like members of the team. That, like, there's just so much that got resolved that some of the main storylines, then it felt a little cheated, but it was still a satisfying end to a wonderful series, or a wonderful season. It just didn't hit the same way, and just felt very rushed, and not something that I wanted. So that was just me. This, the twist, one of the things that did come out of the end of season 3 is that Rebecca and Keeley, at the end of season 3, are talking about starting a women's league, a women's Premier League. And it is clear that they have done so, or are part of the group that did. And Ted is being brought back to help coach the women's team for Richmond. And, I'm sure hilarity will ensue. It'll lean into a lot of stereotypes, because that's what Bill Lawrence does, a lot of tropes. But I think it'll be a very great, it looks like it'll be fun. It looks like it's still got a lot of the same energy. They don't really tell you anything. You do see Ted's ex-wife and his kid cheering him on.
Wow.
I do think you see Rebecca's best friend, who Ted has had multiple one-night stands and flings with, because apparently he's a good lay. That's one of the jokes. But we don't know what the show is going to be. We don't know what it's going to be like. Yes. Roy and Keeley are seen together as well. For those of you who don't know, there's a lot to go. Their relationship is a big part of the seasons as it goes on. So a lot going on. I'm excited. I will watch this because I loved Ted Lasso, and I still stand on my opinion that my favorite recent episode of television is the season 1 finale, The Hope That Kills You. I think that episode is fucking awesome and epitomizes fandom in a way that few shows have ever shown.
No, the first season of Ted Lasso was just this epiphany of a different way of doing like a sports-centric series. It was so funny, and it highlighted relationships in a little bit different way. It had some certain twists to it, and like you said, the finale was excellent. I thought season 2 was good. I just haven't been back on the Apple TV train, but I'm sure I'll get there, and I'll have so much stuff to watch when I do. But I'm like, once again, I'm happy there's another season, because I don't think that Sudeikis would do it if it wasn't going to be quality enough to serve the rest of the franchise. So I think people will be happy with it.
I think so. Fans are very excited for it. They're ready for it. So August 5th, I think, is when that show is due to premiere and stream, and we'll be here. All right. Let's talk about some people dying. We did not play out the Deadpool last week, and it feels like maybe we should have. And we're going to start with Daredevil Born Again season 2, where we said goodbye to Daniel, as Daniel, who under pressure from Buck is being directed to turn over BB Urich to be offed, because she has been the one that we know this, that has been doing the leaking and the underground viral videos exposing the Kingpin and all of his conspiracies. Daniel has been trying to ingratiate himself into the Wilson Fisk administration. We've seen him get some opportunities. Buck has sort of taken him under his wing. And so Daniel is faced with a choice at the end of, at the end of the previous episode, he finally confronts BB about what she's been doing. And we then follow that up with him telling her that they're going to go to a safe house to go underground, but he lies about it. He lies about it, and he tells Buck where to go. Buck is waiting for them there. He's about to take BB. She begs and pleads. He loves her too much to have her be killed. He lets her go. He gives her a burner phone. He goes up and he confronts Buck, refuses to tell Buck where BB is, and it ends with him getting shot in the head. Interesting note about that has come out since this episode has aired, Tunney. The original script did not call for Daniel to die and not to be shot. But after watching it, the showrunners and the people involved realized it didn't work and it didn't make sense. It actually kind of makes Daniel's redemption a little less impactful, in my opinion. So they decided to reshoot it with Daniel dying. And I always forget what's young Gandolfini's first name. Do you remember? Michael Gandolfini did this interview, and he said, I got the call from the producers, and he's like, they're like, we need to do a reshoot. And he's like, I need to die, don't I? It just makes sense. So even he knew that this was where Daniel's character had to end. And that's how we end the show. In between all of that, we get some more revelations about Mr. Charles' impact in Jessica Jones's life. We get the confrontation between Kingpin and Karen Page, and then Karen and the psychiatrist, Dr. What's-Her-Nuts, because I can't remember her name. Tunney just did. Where you are seeing that woman is heading down a path, certainly a path that might not be so great in future seasons. If you know, there's already been footage out there, so I'm not going to spoil that any further than we need to. But it also brings about the return of Matt Murdock to the episode. And if you watched the recap, you knew this was going to be the episode of the reveal, because they go back to Wilson Fisk talking about people trying to find Matt Murdock, a hero, the man who protected him at a gala. And so when Matt Murdock shows up at the trial of Karen Page, it's this big, stunning courtroom moment. And Matt chose to do it because of all the camera footage that's going to be on there that allows them to really expose what's going on with Fisk's task force in a way that is not helping him with his trial. Dr. Glenn, you are correct. Thank you.
Google's correct. If it takes me that long, it's Google. Don't give me extra credit.
You know what? You did the efforting, so you get the credit.
Stat boy.
Oh God, that's a throwback.
Yeah.
Boy, Tony, he came a long way. But anyway, so yeah, and that all leads to next week's finale, where and I forgot, yeah, and Matt is shot as they are trying to leave the courtroom. They realize that the task force people are not leaving the courtroom like everybody else, so they need to find another way out. They're trying to exit through a garage. There's an attack. Police officers get shot. Yeah, it was no bueno. Matt also asked Bullseye for a favor. You don't know what that favor is, but it is to protect the governor and save her from a known assassination attempt, because she's the only one who can undo much of what Wilson Fisk has done with his task force. And she is on the horn with the attorney general trying to make that happen. And Bullseye saves her from an assassination attempt as well.
Do you think there's anything to revealing who the attempted assassin was, or it's just some nobody?
I didn't recognize him, so I'm not sure.
They didn't give you anything to recognize it by, for the most part.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if it'll be a big reveal.
Henchman number 3, probably.
Yeah. It seemed like, it was like Wilson Fisk's attempt to wrap everything up. This guy, obviously isn't going to talk, but, it's all building towards next week. The other thing, we got to mention Luke Cage in this episode. Luke Cage is overseas doing work for Mr. Charles because Jessica can't and won't. We get another recognition that Jessica Jones's powers are not what they used to be. Quite a bit going on in this episode as we head into the final.
And it's been a great season,
Yeah, I love this show.
I immediately go with Michael Gandolfini, like, what character could he play really good in the DCU now, right?
Right.
So I asked Grok.
course you did.
Alberto Falcone was the first one, the Hangman. If they do the Batman Long Halloween as a movie,
Yeah.
and they're kind of pigeon-toeing him into, like those type of gangster roles. A younger Black Mask, a version of Thomas Wayne Jr., something in Clayface possibly, which is already coming out, like mob boss or henchman. So they really pigeon-toed him there. But just to say that this guy's going to have some big roles coming up in different things, in movies, in TV, whatever he wants. I think he's an excellent actor. I think he's going to do the family name proud. I love the reaction the courtroom had when, Matt Murdock walks into the court. And I didn't know. Yeah, there was the
the audible gasp.
Yeah, I had played it a couple times. I enjoy a little audible appreciation. But one of the things that, talking about appreciating things, that I appreciated the most is that who knew that Matt Murdock's walking stick also doubled as a javelin?
Oh yeah, yeah. Matt is never without protection.
He's always equipped.
He don't fuck around. He wields a big stick. He waves it around. Strikes fear in the hearts of evil. Anyway, excellent episode. Does anybody die next week?
Sure.
Who do you think dies next week?
Yes.
That is not a character.
I don't
predictions?
know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
I think the leader cop guy task force guy dies.
Is it the finale next? Is that the finale next week?
I'm pretty sure next week is the last. I mean, you can grok it, but
because this was episode 7. Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I'm thinking
so
of The
next
Boys
week's
is
episode
episode
8.
5. We've had a
Right.
lot going on.
The Boys, we got some work to do over in The Boys.
Boy, who could die next week is a great question. I don't know. Nobody of ultimate significance, I would say.
No, I don't think so.
Think of it that way.
And they got to set up for the next round where we're going to start getting some. Allegedly, we're going to start getting to see some more of the Defenders showing up. One last thing before we go to commercial break that I did appreciate. I love the callbacks that they have done to the Netflix series, and we got another one this week. The 15th precinct guy that lets Karen out of the cell. Yeah. That was one of Foggy and Matt's informants within the police department in earlier seasons when he was a lesser, like more of a patrol guy. So it's just great to see some of those full circle characters come back, and we got another one this week. So a lot of fun. Stay tuned for that because it's going to be a big time deal.
I'll give you one prediction. If the main anti-vigilante task force guy,
killed, I think he's dead.
It'll be by the burnt face guy who came back and realizes he's
1,000%. Yeah, 1,000%.
Because him being on the stand, he was uncomfortable at the end of it, knowing that he was on the wrong side of business.
Right, and that was what they were calling out. So good stuff, and I can't wait for next week. And it's only a few days away. 2 days, May 5th. That's when the next episode hits Disney Plus. All right, we're going to take our first commercial break. For those of you listening live, that'll be a brief pause. For those of you listening on the podcast, that'll be a brief pause with the website popping up. I'll read it in a second. But why should you listen to thechairshot.com? Thechairshot.com has everything you need. I don't remember. I can't do it. I can't do the Christopher Platt.
Interviews, news, podcast galore.
Thechairshot.com. Always use your head. All right, everybody. Welcome back to Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of thechairshot.com, where we remind you to always use your head. Tony flashed it up for the live listeners. For those of you listening on the podcast, make sure you head over to ProWrestlingTees.com/thechairshot for all of your Chairshot swag needs, including the dope Bandwagon Nerd shirt. I think I was probably the last one to buy one. So buy a Bandwagon Nerd shirt, people. Support us. Support the number one chair. Oh yeah, it was DP because he didn't want to wash cars.
He didn't want to,
in a tank top.
And cutoffs.
Yeah, we God, that was like 2 years ago.
It's too bad. Would really help. Might really help the YouTube channel.
Oh, I don't know. That helps any channel. You know what? Now that's not true. There's an OnlyFans for everyone out there.
It was funny when it was funny back when we were an audio podcast.
Right. It's face for radio. That's all I'm saying. Well, I mean, there's a lot of things that are only for radio. Anyway, we got another show to talk about. Let's stop. Let's stop running down DP. He's not on this show very often anymore. It's always a treat when he's here. It's not like it's that DJ fellow. But let's.
Here we go.
I mean, I hear he's got a good podcast. I hear it's enjoyable. Check out DWI. Oh wait, that's not it. It's the Mindless Wrestling Pod. Check out DWI, the other stalwart of the Chair Shot Radio Network. I'm sorry, I'm at the Mindless Wrestling Pod. That's how important it is to me. I can't even remember its name. So, no, that's too mean. That is too mean. DJ works really, really hard, guys, and I know I play a character on the show.
I'll give him a big plug since we're talking about it. 30 Mindless Minutes is a really good new podcast that talks about just life in general, and it's literally 30 minutes every time. So check that out most Sundays. Chairshot Radio Network, all your favorite streaming platforms. Back to Chairshot's #1 villain, Mr. Patrick O'Dowd.
Hey, thank you. And let's talk about an episode of The Boys that I enjoyed, but I do think it's really interesting some of the social media responses from some of the folks out there who I don't think were expecting kind of a side character episode. And that's what this episode really was. Like, important things happen. First of all, again, everyone dies. R.I.P. Firecracker. In this, and what I think is one of the best, most, her death was such a poignant thing because it really shows you that there is nothing you can do once you are within Homelander's circle. When there's no way out. There's just no way out. And that's this whole episode were side stories that were important and integral to the plot in different ways. And I think that's really important to pay attention to because important things happened on this episode, but we focused on very specific characters that don't necessarily always get the spotlight. We started with a segment that was Firecracker centric. We had one that focused on Soldier Boy. We had one that focused on Terror, the dog, Billy Butcher's dog. We had one that focused on Sister Sage, and was that Black all Noir. Of them? And Black Noir, where Black Noir is fucking killing the deep. And I don't know when or how, but Black Noir,
especially after he sends the ass-eating eels to kill his director.
Which again, everyone dies. The director who's been with us since season 1, because he's the film director that they'd been using, Vaughn had been using to make all these movies. Homelander gets rid of him. He's teaching theater, or he's running theater about the Bee Gees, which that was also like the Black Noir's character was a Bee Gees play. That was awesome.
We brought up the first death. Our first death we're talking about right now is that. So in honor of, we don't have sound bites. Can we do a visual kind of cool thing in honor of? I know you're not a Cubs fan either, but we'll do the Sammy Sosa goodbye.
That hurt me to do.
That's one. You're gonna have to do it a few more times this episode.
Oh, fuck that. Stab in the head. I will give a ceremonial stab in the head with a bronze eagle. That's what I'm gonna do. You got me to do one Sammy Sosa. That's all you get. But anyway, so
I'm sorry, Albert Pujols and Mark McGwire had no personality, man, and I was a Mark McGwire fan.
No, I never said they did. I mean, I enjoyed watching him play. I got to Albert Pujols hitting a walk-off home run against the Cincinnati Reds when I was in the stadiums was one of the best moments I had with my dad at a baseball game. It was dope. Almost as good as the time Tim Lincecum no-hit the Cardinals for 8 innings. Great times.
Tim Lincecum, man.
Yeah, I know, right? That was back in the day. The Giants.
Boy, that guy used everything he had.
For 3 years, he was unhittable. and then he was very hittable. So anyway, yeah, so we get Firecracker who gets a visit from her old pastor, and we learn that this Democratic Church of America is really pushing its way into the United States very forcefully. And this pastor is like, we're running out of money. Your church is about to die. He shares all these memories with her. And we've been seeing for episodes now that Firecracker has been struggling with her loyalty. And you talked about this when we talked about Daredevil, recognizing that you're on the wrong side of history here and that you have enabled Homelander in a very dangerous way through your platform. And she kind of has this moment of clarity where she is just hoping against hope that she could talk to Homelander into getting people to back off of her church. And she says this, unfortunately, to Soldier Boy after they have bad sex, because she's not into it this time because her brain is elsewhere. And he doesn't care, but he's still listening. And that comes back to haunt her later.
Take note. It's all about the environment and the mentality for the ladies. It's not just, right. Oh, I'm ready.
Right. Yes, very much so. But she goes on her show where they have completely changed the script and asked her and directed her to not only like go after her church, but go after this pastor and accuse him of pedophilia, make him out to be this horrible, horrible villain. And she does it with a tear in her eye. Later at the end of the episode, Homelander confronts her and she's trying to talk about how she's only ever been loyal to him. She supports him. But as we learn in the Soldier Boy section, Soldier Boy tells Homelander that he and Firecracker have been screwing and that the pillow talk was the worst part. He explains what the pillow talk is, and that's what does her in, is because she shared her doubts because she's a dumbass. Like why you would trust Soldier Boy, I don't know, but she does, and it costs her life because he brutally jams her head into the statue of an eagle wing. And that's the last image of the episode, is her just standing there. It happens so sudden. It's awful. Yeah, it looks like it actually does in silhouette, looks like a gruesome salute, which I don't think is an accident. So we have that. We have Black Noir, who at the encouragement, he's been his sort of side hustle has been auditioning and having this role in a play about the Bee Gees, where he voices his frustration with the Deep to this director.
I really need you to stop acting and just be Barry Gibb.
Just be Barry Gibb. Yep. And I just love how he fucking loves that Barry Gibb would do a barrel roll. He's like, so yes, barrel roll.
You know what this reminds me of is when Jimmy Fallon and Justin Timberlake did the Bee Gees thing.
Yes.
On What's Up With That?
It's so fascinating where the Bee Gees pops up in our American lore, which, by the way, I will stand for the Bee Gees. They're so much more than Saturday Night Fever. And if you listen to music outside of the Saturday Night Fever soundtrack, they have some really good tracks that are underrated that people don't appreciate. Anyway, but he vents his frustration, and basically the director's like, look, you got to stand up for yourself. You got to get even with this guy, or this is just going to keep happening. And the irony, neither one knows who the other is. And so when the director starts talking about how the Deep kept trying to take over movies with shitty monologues and dialogue suggestions, Black Noir's like, yeah, fuck that guy. So he goes. And
a work problem to take care of.
Yep. And he one-ups the Deep in front of
the preacher.
The preacher.
I don't remember his name.
There you go. Everybody drink. Double drink.
I got it. Okay.
Double drink, where he comes up with an idea of what if Homelander performs a miracle and I suddenly am able to talk and do all this. And the preacher's like, that's brilliant. That'll work.
Great idea.
Do that. And the Deep, in his rage and jealousy, then follows Black Noir, sees what he's been up to, and sends an eel through a toilet to tear out the asshole and all of the internal organs of one director, whose final line was, my ass hurts.
I'd imagine.
It did. Yeah.
I'd imagine.
We learned Sister Sage's motivation is to literally end the world so that she can be by herself in her bunker and read books. And
if you can leave me alone after the world ends, you can come into the bunker.
Right. Here's the thing. That is a nod to a Twilight Zone episode.
I believe it. I believe
Yeah.
it. No, I did not
So
know that, but I definitely believe it.
one of my favorite Twilight Zone episodes is one of the most famous Twilight Zone episodes of all time. Stars Burgess Meredith, and Burgess Meredith is this bank teller who the rest of the world can't stand because all he wants to do is read books, enjoy his time reading books. And he goes on a lunch break and he locks himself away or closes up this bank vault and is quietly reading a book while a nuclear apocalypse strikes Earth and wipes out all living things. And he comes out, he's the only person alive, and he goes to the local library. And while he's there, there's all these books and he's got them all stacked up. And just as he sits down to start reading, he accidentally drops and breaks his glasses and has all the time in the world to read, but can't read the books because that was always the thing about the Twilight Zone is there'd be some level of twisted irony and that he's by himself and he can't do the thing that he loves. And it's filled with despair. But the second sister stage is talking about reading by yourself in a post-apocalyptic world. I went straight to that episode of the Twilight Zone.
Her bunker in what, Colorado Springs, I believe.
Yes, I do believe so.
It's funny this came up because last night I was going through YouTube down the rabbit hole like I like to do, and I pay for all these streaming services and DirecTV and everything else, and I watch free YouTube more than anything else. But on Mr. Beast's channel, he has an episode, and it's not even a half an hour, so it's really nice to watch. It's apocalyptic bunkers from $1 to $1 billion, and when you get to the progression of the 3 million, 5 million, 100 million, and then the government's inside of Mount Cheyenne, I believe, it's amazing. It's a really fun, cool YouTube 25, 30-minute video to watch.
Yeah, I've made my peace that when nuclear winter hits, I'm dead. So
yeah,
I can't afford a bunker. So
I'm hoping all the partying I've done makes me invincible to all that. Like Frenchie,
Yeah, Frenchie, who can't cook or can cook but doesn't understand why. You get a better insight as to why he and Kumiko broke up because he doesn't
pay attention to the details. Yeah, and women hate that.
And he doesn't understand her, and they
clearly like this chocolate inadvertently.
Right. This very much solidifies, but we do get a couple of big moments out of this.
Let me ask you a question because we're transitioning over from all this Vought side of things and Soup side with Homelander into like the first thing we get is like Stewie and Starlight, I think. And it's funny, I was hoping we were going to get an episode without the good guy side. I wanted it to all be bad guy side. How did you feel when we first got into like Butcher's gang? Because it was a little minute before we got there.
Yeah, it was interesting, and to choose to do it through the point of view of the dog, I think, is why that happened that way. Because we always follow those characters, right? So we're following Terror. The reason I appreciate it is because it was necessary for the moment that we have between Butcher and Huey at the end, where again, I don't know if you can trust Butcher or not, but Terror having this close call and nearly dying, and Huey saving him. Butcher, then says,
Butcher?
Well, I do believe him because the other thing he said is once the virus is ready, like we're launching it. If your vaccine isn't ready in time, tough shit. So like he's still giving him he's not giving him a big chance, but he's giving him a chance to develop a vaccine to save the people he loves. And it's because Terror really is the last living creature on Earth that loves Butcher.
Well, and then Stewie brought up his wife too. Stewie.
Stewie's on the Family Guy.
Repugnant moron. Yes, Huey. Huey brought up the fact of his wife. Would you do it to save? I forget her name.
Yeah, I don't either. I don't care. She's dead. She died. Right. And so
kill Tony.
It's really interesting. Mother's Milk, who is like oddly liberated now. He's like, fuck it, I'm dead. I know I'm dead, and I don't give a shit about nothing. So
I've never slept better.
Yes, he's like, it's a weight off his shoulders. I thought that was also very important and poignant. And then it's just kind of nice. What do dogs think about? What do they dream about? Where are their brains?
Fucking Homelander in the ass for a turkey bone.
Hell yeah, he was. Good on you, Terror. keep doing the Lord's work. That doll was disgusting. This is what I call it. This was very much in it. Oh, we didn't even get to Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy going with Homelander to Hollywood, where we get to see cameos from Seth Rogen, Will Forte. Oh my God! It was this. What's that? Yeah, I can't pronounce his name, but
McLovin.
McLovin was in there. Plinsky.
Will Forte.
Yeah, I said Will Forte. Not A-Train, but the guy that A-Train replaced. Those
Marathon
two,
Man.
Yeah, Marathon Man and Soldier Boy. Those actors were on the TV show Supernatural together, so it was a Supernatural reunion for the two of them. And it's interesting because that is where Soldier Boy finally decides to align with Homelander, at least in this case, because they try to take Homelander out. They know think Soldier Boy can do it, and Soldier Boy says no. He's like, he may be a fuck up, but he's my fuck up, or something like that.
I think so. Have you ever are you a Survivor guy? Have you ever watched Survivor?
I have not. No.
At some point, you get to a stage in the game where there's only so many strong players left.
Yeah.
And each week someone gets voted out. And if you're the second strongest player, the last person you want to get voted out is the strongest player. I think Soldier Boy realized that once they get rid of Homelander, the next person they're going to want to get rid of is me. So I think Soldier Boy considers Homelander his shield now. And I think he came to that realization right there in that moment when Homelander was lying on the ground. What's the Chemic Mal or whatever the guy was, the gas or something.
Right. So I can't remember what it was called, but yeah, he, which is also interesting because he had a way to take out Homelander on some level.
He did, but at the same time, like, look at even these people. Everybody fakes liking Homelander to his face, and everybody hates him.
Right? Yeah, everybody hates him, and they're terrified of him. Well, and it's hilarious. The actors they're sitting around, they're playing poker, playing cards, and they like when Homelander's just standing there, is like, I heard everything you said.
Yeah,
like it's, and then they all try to sell each other out to get him. So it was
we really need to round up Michael Cera.
Right. And what it did was, it didn't let us to what I would presume will finally get us to somebody who has V1. I'm forgetting his name. Bombsight.
Yep.
And so the race is on to Bombsight. We all know that at some point Homelander is going to get this V1 and become a god or next level, because that's sort of how climaxes play out. Like, you're going to have to go Super Saiyan before you can beat him. Oh, excuse me.
I don't think so, because Soldier Boy has Homelander hooked now. He's like, give me, don't forget about who's the old person that ran Vought? Clarence.
Yeah,
Clarence?
No, you're talking about Stan Edgar.
Stan Edgar. Yeah, don't forget about like that interaction too when he was in the cell and things of that nature. But I think at some point there's going to be a switch, and at the very end, and I've been one to say, Homelander, why can't he just be the one, and why can't we have a not happy ending, right? But I think at some point there's going to be a switch where Homelander thinks he's taken the V1, but he's really taken the virus.
It's the Superman 2 ending.
Yeah. I mean, Margot
Robbie on a bearskin.
I'd rather
Margot Robbie.
That's Margot
Kidder.
Yeah,
you're
Kidder.
right.
Yes, you're right.
You're right. Wrong
ding
Margot.
To your suggestion. Ding, ding, ding.
There we go.
On a cheetah skin rug. How's that instead of a bear?
Oh my.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Oh, cool.
Oh my.
Yeah, George Takei can watch if he wants. I'm not like that. He would be saying, "Oh my."
Awkward. All right. So this was like an interlude episode where a lot more got done than I think people give it credit for, and was a good character exploration. And look, not Rob's son, Ray Cash, showing
That's from a different recording, so I'll change it for this. Hey, everybody.
Got you. crashing the party just as we were about to wrap up talking about the boys. And I was just saying that this was an episode where it was an interesting interlude episode where you follow characters that you're not typically following, but a lot still happened. And we literally I think we covered just about everything. So welcome to the program.
Thank you.
R.I.P.
Please
Firecracker and director guy.
Yes. Please forgive my tardiness, by the way. Good to see you, gentlemen. Hello out there, internet world. Do you want me to say my thoughts, or I don't want? Because I know I kind of
you could take a minute and give us some thoughts on The Boys episode 5.
Okay,
5.
I'll be quick because I know you guys broke it down, and like you said, it was an important episode, but not structurally. It was weird. It was.
I think it's more important than people get it credit for. I think
Agreed.
A lot of people have gotten hung up on the focus on the characters that they focused on, and less about what was actually revealed, because a lot of important stuff was revealed and a lot of important decisions were made.
To that point, this was the definition of an expository episode. Yes. All exposition. And so the Butcher part of it was very important because it showed Butcher still has a heart. Because the one thing he cares about was the dog. And that kind of brought all the boys back together for one moment in some type of harmony. The Firecracker part was very interesting because two things. Number one, there was this discussion online about was Firecracker sympathetic? No. Did she deserve to die? Probably. Not like that, but probably. But I think the important part of that was she was the only one, and she said it was such a beautiful way she said it. She was the only one that wasn't scared of him. She was the only one that actually worshipped him. Maybe not like Jesus level worship, but she from day one. Everybody was scared of him. And I think that was almost his shedding of the sycophantic, like I need minions, I need believers, I don't need supporters. It's like a whole different thing. I've assumed to a different place now. And just the mere fact that you had a second of doubt, you gotta go. The boy gone. Ain't no coming back for your boy Homelander.
Right.
But yeah, I think it was a really, really good episode, really fun episode. But for a show as gory and as out there and on the other side of the spectrum as close to the vest as to real life as it is, episodes like this are important to kind of bring it back down and bring it back so you can set up for something bigger again the next episode. That's always been the problem with The Boys. Every episode just punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth, punch you in the mouth. You're a boxing fan. Every now and then you got a jab.
You still did kill like nearly half a dozen of the America's best comedic actors, and you did have ass eels eat the shit out of some guy.
The ass eel, crazy. The shout out to Black Noir, who's basically like,
I've been hovering since I seen it. If I got a 2, I'm hovering.
Be careful.
Now. Yeah.
Be careful.
I have a trigger system set up too. Like, so I'm like sitting there. I'm scared.
You had a lot of time to get this fixed. Well done, Tony.
Well, I mean, I was ready for it.
And hey, look, Seth Rogen, keep getting them checks, my boy. Because look, you're the producer for all these things. You might as well go ahead and give yourself a cameo, my boy.
Okay, we didn't discuss this, Patrick, and I'm glad Ray's on here to talk about this and jog my memory. But the funny thing is, when they go meet Marathon Man, he shows them all their non-VOT, like B-movie superhero stuff. And they go, where do B movies go to be made? Sony. Pictures.
yeah, they did. They dogged on some stuff. That was pretty funny. Yeah, I enjoyed that thing thoroughly. So let's keep the ball rolling. We got 3 episodes ish or so, I think, of the Boys 2, right? It's an 8 episode run.
Yeah.
So 3 to go there. 3 to go here. We or not 1 to go with Daredevil. Good stuff. Winding stuff down, and then we'll start talking about Spider-Man Noir. All right. This would be the point of the show where if Tunney's soundboard hadn't crashed, you would hear our second commercial break. Unfortunately, Tunney's soundboard crashed. So instead, Ray Cash is going to regale you with his thoughts on Daredevil Born Again season 2, episode 5 or episode 7 in 30 seconds or less. Go.
Perfect. You know how forgive the connection, but you know how Dominic Mysterio is the only wrestler to turn heel as a heel already. Your boy Matt Murdock is the only dude to come and cameo as himself. It's amazing that the boy popped up out of nowhere, like, oh, Matt Murdock's here.
Courtroom drama, baby.
Courtroom drama, and again, that's the core of the show. That's the core of the character, not the I beat people up because in a devil mask because I can't see. It's I'm a lawyer. Also, best part of the episode, maybe most important part going forward, Karen and ex-girlfriend. Karen badass.
Dr. Glenn.
30 seconds.
And Dr. Glenn, we forgot her name too. It's cool. Can't wait for her
You
next
didn't have
week.
to tell him. You didn't have to tell him.
Yeah, we did.
Dude.
Can't wait for next season when she's Miss Muse.
Googles.
So
I
it's going to be stuff. So spoiler alert, that is happening, by the way. Dr. Glenn is becoming a female version of the villain Muse. Photos have already leaked. It's happening. So, all right. Here's the real commercial break. ProWrestlingTees.com/chairshot for all of your chair shot swag needs. Again, get the Bandwagon Nerd shirt. We need to move that ticker up from DP being the last person to buy one of those shirts. So keep that going. And chairshot.com, always use your head. We're awesome. Ray Cash has been working day and night and day on our website. I hear good things. Have a funny story to tell you guys. I'll tell it on the air. I don't care. You had asked me if I had a Discord account. I do. It's the Little O'Dowd's Discord account, though. So it's his username. So I don't know what I'm going to do about Discord because I can't take that away from him just yet. So we gotta set that up differently. But yes. But follow us on all of your podcasting channels. Follow us, bookmark us, favorite us, whatever the hell you need to do. Chairshot.com. Always use your head. Follow us. Like and subscribe. Follow us at Chairshot Media. All that fun stuff. Get it all done. Do it to it. Ray, you aren't here with Dave being absent, lawyer that he is. We did not feel comfortable talking about an antitrust lawsuit being put up against Paramount. So we're going to skip that one today. We're just going to go straight into Disney shit, where Josh tomorrow is talking about building a super app that will involve Disney Plus and Cruise Line and Disney Parks. We got ESPN. I mean, they think it's necessary. So they're already trying to do this a lot. Like we'll start with the super app thing. So basically, and I didn't share this article, but Josh tomorrow has made it very known. There's two things that he's really talked about. One of them is that he wants Disney to be on the forefront of embracing the use of AI as a tool in their work, be it filmmaking, marketing, all of this stuff. Like he is very forward about it. Ever since the deal broke down, they're going to pursue this in-house. But it came out this week that one of the other things that he wants to do is it's interesting, and I want to see how it works. But this idea of a Disney super application that is a marriage of a lot of things that they try to tie together within the Disney Corporation for the customer experience. Because if you're a subscriber to Disney Plus, you get unique discounts and offers for Disney resorts, trips, things like that. The thing that I can't stand about Disney travel, as the Disney traveler that I am, is that for every single type of Disney resort or park, there is a different app for it. So when I go to Walt Disney World, I have to use the Walt Disney World app. When I go on a Disney cruise, I have switched to the Disney Cruise Line app. If I go to Disneyland, I got to go on the Disneyland app. We're planning on doing a vacation to the Disney resort in Hawaii known as Aulani. You got to download the Aulani app. And I think Josh tomorrow's thinking is we got all this, and we need to maybe make this. I don't know how well it's going to work. I don't know how effective it'll be. I don't know how easy or hard it'll be. I think there's an argument that it might be easier to make one big travel app. I don't know where the Disney Plus part of it fits or how it works. So, and I'm not that guy. So
Yeah.
it's very much like we are wanting to streamline all the things that we do as applications.
Don't you think it's easier to target your specific audience if you know their preferences on Disney Plus?
Oh, 1000%. Like
just getting to know your audience, really.
Their algorithm throws stuff at you on Disney Plus that they think you want to pursue. Like I get Disney Parks documentaries all the time.
May I speak on the difficulties and some of the problems of this from a technological standpoint?
Well, you're the tech guy, so
there you go. Right. This is what I do. The biggest problem with the integration is going to be the user base, because the way user accounts are set up through Disney Plus or ESPN or Hulu or whatever one of those apps they own is different than what it is for Disney Parks, Disney Cruise Line, all of those things. So the integration of that, whatever they're using as their database, is going to have to match and mix, and that's going to be difficult. Number one. Number two, everybody doesn't want all. If me and you, Patrick and Tony, we all go to a buffet right now, everybody don't want they shit to match. They the shit to touch. Some people want they
except
mac
for the
and
carving
cheese.
station. Everybody goes to the carving station.
Well, sure. What I'm saying is everybody don't want their mac and cheese necessarily touch. They filet mignon and to touch they dirty rice, whatever. Some people don't like this shit touch it. Some people want their shit separate. So you the food guy, Tony. So in this situation, everybody don't necessarily like. People already have a problem with with Disney Plus having all of the core three together. Some people like the ESPN app separate. I prefer going to my ESPN app and watching ESPN things on my ESPN app. Why? Because I have the full integration of ESPN. I don't have the full integration of ESPN if I go to the Disney Plus app, because it's just shows, right?
Oh, I don't. I have ESPN. Like I don't know what I paid for, but like because of my cable operator,
no. What Ray is saying is there's a big difference between going on to Disney Plus and the ESPN section of Disney Plus and just going to the ESPN app and being an ESPN premium member under that subscription. There's more content first of all, and there's more content that's easily accessible on the ESPN app. It's not all directly filtered into said Disney Plus. At the same time, we talked about before how like I'm done watching a lot of things on my DVR that also stream the next day because I don't have to fast forward. The commercials are just gone. So there's different quirks to all these things. And, Patrick and I have ballyhooed Amazon and Apple for their, advancements in streaming. So it's all a work in progress still, as much as we've talked about the golden era of streaming. They're still working on these things.
What you ultimately can do is you can integrate them in a way that doesn't have to make everybody use the same app. What you can do is if you have the idea of having one app for Disney Parks makes sense. I get that. That streamlining makes sense. Now, I'm more amenable to having a Disney Cruise app, a Walt Disney World app, and a Disneyland app because of the different worlds and things in those specific organizational units to think from a technical perspective. That I'm cool with that, but if you're gonna do them, apples to apples, oranges to oranges. Don't put your oranges in the same place with the steaks. Don't make sense. Things are different, right? But you can have, if you have a Walt Disney World app or a Disney Parks app or whatever, you can have it where it says integrate your Disney Plus, and that way the things that you watch may be able to come over to say, oh well, this dude is a big Marvel fan, so here's some Marvel shit. 20% off going to the Guardians of the Galaxy route or something. That's possible. You don't have to literally have it to where the same app where I want to go watch Daredevil Born Again episode 7, and then the next tab over is, hey, by the way, you want to go ride Space Mountain today? I think that is stupid.
It's fair. I don't know how it's going to work. I don't know what it's going to look like. Here's what I will say. And this is one of the things that I don't know if it's going to bite him in the ass or is going to work out really well for him. But this is very much the sort of thing that Disney used to be known for under Walt for the longest time. Of Walt was always trying to find new ways to not only make his business better and more successful, but he was always challenging his what they call Imagineers, and and and, and telling them what they would call like blue sky projects uh, to innovate and go forward. So him saying this, I also think is a challenge to his own people. To be like, how can we do this? Can we do this? Will it work or not? That's different. Disney's also as known for their failures as they are for their successes. I just think it's very, very interesting. And one of the things that happened under previous Disney regimes, Bob Iger was great for a while. I would say Bob Iger's second run at Disney was less innovative. Bob Chapek was the wrong guy. He was a numbers and finance guy. He was not an innovation guy. Michael Eisner, for all of his problems, was an idea guy. And I think this is Josh D'Amaro trying to be an idea guy. And whether that's an idea that can happen or not, we'll find out. And whether it works or not, if he does make it happen, we'll find that out too. What we also learned from Josh D'Amaro this week is that ESPN isn't going anywhere. There was long thoughts that ESPN was going to be shopped around as Disney was working its content and portfolio. Will come out this week. Nope, we keep an ESPN. And why would you get rid of it, Tony? Why would you move it on? Other than, but is there more money getting rid of it, or is there money in keeping it? I don't know.
There's more money in keeping it. It was the road I was going down. Ray and I just talked about it. Like, one of the biggest reasons people go to the Disney Plus and have the bundle is because of the ESPN thing. And it's not just because of the premium side where you can get WWE, PLEs, etc., things of that nature. There's just so much content on ESPN, not just from a sporting standpoint, but also there's pop culture Americana references and content and shows and specials that span all across this great country for the last 40 years. They've been doing it at ESPN, late 70s, so 40
Yep.
plus.
Yep.
Yeah. They'd be stupid to get rid of them.
Let's just speak numbers, right? Let's just speak specifically numbers. From a number statistic standpoint, the most watched shows in not only the history of our television, but year to year, month to month, week to week, are sporting events. The number one sporting channel in every single regard is ESPN, unquestionably. That's number one. Number two, there is such a major base of sports fans that clearly will spend money because you're Patrick, you're a big Bears fan, Tony, you're a big Packers fan. Both of y'all got jerseys. Both of y'all probably got some memorabilia. I got a Packers jersey. I'm not Packers jersey. I got a Ravens a Lamar jersey. I got a signed helmet right here. I got a cup right here. My literal mat is a Ravens mat on my table.
We gotta say this: Calais Campbell coming back.
Love it, and retire where he should be retiring. But to that point, but the point I'm making is when people that are fanatical, so people like Marvel people, Star Wars, all the thing that Disney is good at, people that are fanatical that will spend money and talk and do all this stuff, you keep that working. So ESPN this is not NBC Sports trying to get in, like trying to garner a lane. This is they put ESPN stuff on ABC now to get ratings for ABC.
Yeah, I don't think there was ever a reason why they should have talked about shopping ESPN in the first place. So you're not you're preaching to a choir on that one.
Is it possible it's like an evaluation thing where, hey, we want to reassess our entire company's worth, so let's see what we could get, and then we can add that value to that when we go ahead and reassess our home and our property taxes kind of thing. You know what I'm saying?
Tony, I think it's a legitimate. How many billions can we get? Because ESPN, if you sold it and it was its own standalone, would be worth about 3-4 billion. Well, no, actually more than that. Because if the UFC got a $7 billion deal, triple that. So they're probably worth about 25 billion on their own.
As long as the contracts haven't already converted over to Disney, right? Like as long as they maintain their contracts they have, and why wouldn't they, or why wouldn't said major professional sports want to get out of it if ESPN wasn't involved?
Oh, they're following. Yeah, they're following ESPN.
So, ESPN is valued at over $30 billion as of
There
early
you go.
2026.
Yeah.
So,
So I was pretty close, right?
Like
I said
think
25.
about the dip and then the resurgence the NHL has had leaving ESPN, coming back to ESPN. Think about NASCAR and where you don't know where to watch it and how big it was when it was on ESPN.
The
Now
Premier
NASCAR is a different
League is
thing. They
there
changed their
now.
format, but yeah, exactly. Like you
The
get a
Premier
bump.
League is there now.
Look at the WNBA.
I just want bowling back on ESPN.
Look at bowling. CW, not as big.
Well,
that's another thing, by the way. CW has the deal. CW Sports now has a deal with ESPN. Just saying.
Right.
Yeah, they got in.
Well, and the bowling thing's really interesting because they only had CW only had bowling up until this last major, and now it switches over. CBS has it now for the World Series of Bowling. So
listen, bowling would be smart to change their schedule like golf did. Golf ends when professional football starts. The bowling schedule should start like it used to after the NFL season and be on Sundays on ESPN. That's where you can make money. That's where I remember it being 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah, I mean, it's been an interesting road. So we'll, but it's got its contract what it is now. We'll see how it evolves and changes and sticks with it. So I know you guys are very passionate about the sports, but I do want to move on because as this podcast day of dropping will be Monday. Monday is May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. Let's talk some Star Wars. And we were talking a little bit earlier when talking about Disney how well they handle IPs. I would argue that Star Wars is one IP that has been, I'll say it nicely, Star Wars has been hit or miss under the Disney leadership. And they recently just cleaned house there, and the newest Disney leadership team met for the first time this past week to talk about the direction and future of Star Wars on Disney. Now, not many details came out of that meeting. We know that Dave Filoni is the man at this point in time, but not a lot more going on there. Is anybody watching the Maul series on Disney Plus? I watched the first episode. I haven't gone further.
I'm gonna binge it when it's done.
Right. We've got some Mandalorian Grogu news that we're going to talk about a little bit. From what I understand, there is still some Jon Favreau's project is still coming down the pipe. But Disney and Star Wars is really at a crossroads. And seems like there's not a lot of certainty as to what it's gonna mean going forward. They know they have a strong property on hand, or at least a strong fandom, and they can see that as evidenced by their parks. Like Disney's Galaxy's Edge at both Walt Disney World and Disneyland do gangbusters. They just at Disneyland actually reintroduced the original trilogy characters as characters you can encounter while walking around Galaxy's Edge. But some of their efforts have gone incredibly poorly, even if it was something good. I still stand by Solo, a Star Wars story, is better than people give it credit for. The J.J. Abrams trilogy, people have feelings in a lot of different directions with that. Last Jedi for the win. But anyway, Acolyte, it just didn't go well. But then you have something like Andor that does incredibly well. And we're seeing early projections, and I kind of wish Dave was on the show because I want to disagree with him. These projections generally don't miss when predicting the direction of a franchise. And The Mandalorian and Grogu at current projections is looking like it's going to do more poorly than Solo. And that is not a good sign for a franchise that was very popular as a series. Tony, you got to figure out what you got.
So I also do the early Tunney's movie theater. How much is it filled for when I'm going to go? And I looked at opening night. I looked at Saturday night, and not a lot of tickets are sold yet.
Yeah, seats are available. It's not. Yeah, it's.
And I'm not out here looking at 11 a.m. on Saturday when I like to go. I'm looking at Friday at 7, 8, 9, 10, Saturday at 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it's like 90+% left.
It's got to be a thing with where y'all live, because I've never, ever seen that. I mean, even when the Avengers movies were coming out, I would always be able to go
log into your local movie theater to buy tickets and see how many tickets are gone for the main theaters and the main times. Not a lot are gone.
The thing about ticket sale projections, though, and this is really important, it doesn't care about region, right? Like there are places where going to the theater is more popular than others. I live in rural Massachusetts. Like, let's be real. Like, I live in farmland Massachusetts. Like, going to the movies is fun and all, but like it's also not necessarily like appointment go viewing. Like, it's not. Like, I'm clicking on my Cinemark app right now just for funsies to see. So like I don't know. I will say I've been very clear about my lack of interest in this particular film. It does not strike me as for me. Like, I haven't liked the marketing. I mean, it looks like maybe it's okay, but I don't know. I just am not. I have not been feeling it.
It's almost like there should have been a mini season in the recent past to lead up to this, because it's been so long since we've even had anything Mandalorian and Grogu, right? Like,
right.
When did and we've covered that series. How long has it been since the last season that we've covered? A long time. We can't even remember. Maybe after COVID.
It's been a while. And just for the record, like, I'm looking, like, there, like in my area, there's a lot of seats. Like, now I'm switched over to like Friday. Let's see.
We're talking Milwaukee area for me, Massachusetts area for Patrick, and Houston area for Ray.
Like, Friday night at 7:30 p.m., tons of seats available. Friday night 9:55, because it's a longish movie, almost an entire theater available. Like, there are 5 seats sold on a Friday night. So
you seeing the same thing, Ray?
We can't hear you, bud.
Sorry, I was working on some site shit. I'll look right now.
No, and it's just one of those things. Like, I know Dave's like, I think it'll do better, and it might. Like, it's still got a month before it comes out, but I will also say, I think Disney's got a real marketing problem with some of its own stuff. Like, you look at how I go back to Elio or Elemental. There's been stuff where they just don't invest, and they seem to almost take an arrogant approach to, oh, well, it's us. People are going to go see it. And we don't always. And Mandalorian and Grogu, like, that little puppet alone has been enough to get people to tune in on Disney Plus. And I don't know if it's just that people don't see it as a movie. I don't know, but it's not projecting great. And I hope that Dave's right and the projections are wrong, but it does not seem like it's trending well.
At the same time, people like me who are going to go see the movie haven't bought my tickets yet either. So
sure,
there's no Grogu Happy Meal anymore. Shit like that. So
no, it's at Burger King.
Is it? Is there a Grogu?
I think it's Burger King has got the Mandalorian Grogu marketing materials.
Have it Grogu's way.
Right. Here's a better example of just kind of where this has gone and how it's changed. The little O'Dowd does not want to go see this movie. He has no interest in seeing it at all.
Really? Huh.
At all. Now, some of that could be him outgrowing the characters, but I asked him, I was like, "Hey, Mandalorian Grogu's coming up. Are we in?" Nope. It
So
doesn't.
you're gonna have to
interest
go
me.
by yourself, or bring the missus.
Oh yes, the Mrs. Big Star Wars fan that she is. She'll be all over it.
I mean, I imagine we'd talk about this show, talk about the movie on the show that weekend.
We might. I don't know. Like I will probably go see it, but I'm not in any rush to go see it. All right, let's go to our last story of the day. One that I think is pretty important. The Oscars this week released a whole slew of new rules that are coming forward. Probably the two biggest ones, though, that are worth knowing is that they have come out and said that scripts that are created via generative AI and performances that are created via AI, a la the Val Kilmer film that is coming out soon.
Damn.
There's been a lot of news about Tilly, I think is her name, is the AI actress that has gotten made the rounds, that those characters in those scripts will not be eligible for Oscar consideration.
I'm sorry, real fast. IMAX, Mandalorian Grogu, one of the bigger, more popular theaters. 7:00 p.m. Friday, May 22nd, half sold out.
I mean, I think it's a regional thing then at that point, because I don't know.
That's what I'm saying, because we do this every time there's a big movie.
Lost you again.
Sorry, everything. No, keep moving. Never mind. Go ahead.
I was like, did you lose me or did I lose you? That was
no,
really the next question.
I'm trying to stay muted because my echo cancellation isn't on. So go ahead.
Got you. Yeah, and it's tough to do once we're recording. Oh, sorry. Just breaking news. There is a new poster revealing all of the X-Men 97 mutants. If you want to check that out, that's over at io9.com. I was just coming over here because I wanted to read what they wrote in laying out these rules. And it's, what does it say? Going forward, acting roles credited in the film's legal billing and demonstrably performed by humans with their consent are eligible for acting awards. Likewise, writing has similarly definitive language around the AI technology. Screenplays must be human authored to be eligible. The script writing one is more interesting to be eligible. I think how much of a script can be worked with AI that for it to be considered for an Oscar. You know what I mean?
So yeah, I know what you're talking about. I think the probably the best consensus for that is, did the idea come from AI, and was the majority of the actual script, dialogue, or the spec, or whatever it was, written by AI? I don't think anybody who's reasonable has any problem with AI using it for research purposes or grammar purposes or double checking things and finding things that take a lot of time. But it can't be the catalyst of the idea or the point of the script. And that's relatively easy to figure out, I'd imagine.
Yeah, I don't know. It strikes me as interesting, because I think if it's, I feed 3 sentences into a prompt and say create a script based on this idea, that I think is what they're saying you can't use or wouldn't qualify, obviously. Arguably spell check has been AI forever, right? Like spell check has existed in Word documents for as long as we've known, even when they don't know how to spell words because they're slang.
Like, how can you legitimately prove AI research, though, right? Like, I mean, you can't. It's just a faster paced learning process than you
Right.
doing it yourself, you know? So yeah,
I do think there's a legislative problem with this, like with the script writing part. I think I will be very interested to see how, because the and whether the Academy even says like how they determine that criteria. What do they show?
like I get Val Kilmer's new role as an AI actor, not eligible for an Oscar. Get it.
Right.
But the rest of it, there's a line somewhere. We got to find it.
Right. And I even think about, because this is, I think they were trying to cover this when explaining it in their acting criteria, because Andy Serkis as an actor has done so many characters that are digitally created based on his motion and acting. Gollum being most famous, but he was also instrumental in many Planet of the Apes films and stuff like that. Like I think they want to distinguish from that versus, like you just said, Tunney, not real human being just kind of completely created via technology. So interesting to see that. A couple of other things that are in there. They're changing the way international films are nominated. It won't be based on country any longer. It'll just be the name of the film, and actors can be nominated in the same category for different performances. So when Ray Cash is in both Othello and Fast and the Furious 236, his performances will be so great that he can be nominated for Best Actor in both.
Is
I
this Fern
appreciate you
Gully's?
giving me Othello.
Is Fern Gully's interpretation of Othello?
Oh,
It's Fernthello.
Fernthello. Wow.
That's
Yes,
definitely
like
Oscar
Hamnet.
worthy.
Like it's the sequel to Hamnet.
It's definitely Oscar worthy, boys. To be or not to be in this damn forest? That's the question.
And then
That's not
Tokyo Drift,
Othello,
motherfucker. Oh,
right?
No.
Because
It's can you
family.
see or can you not see the forest from the trees?
we're family, right? We're as tight as Dom and his people.
I would say
So
so.
I see what you did.
okay, yeah, I'm there. All right, that's really all I care about. That the Oscars still stuffy, out of touch with reality. They're gonna nominate the wrong. They're gonna nominate good things and then give the winning trophies to the wrong people. At least in my opinion, especially when it comes to music. It's just kind of what they do. Um, but let's head into our final segment of the show. That, of course, being what you're watching. Ray Cash, I'll turn it over to you first. Bro, I love you. You seem a little distracted.
It's fucking dog, man. Shit.
Ray,
Yeah.
Ray's got dog
Ultimately,
issues.
whose fault is that ultimately?
The dog? The fucking dog's fault. What you talking about?
Maybe the dog's thinking about Homelander.
And if it was that, I would laugh. I saw Michael last night. Me and Renaya saw Michael.
Oh yeah,
fantastic movie. I did not think it was gonna be good. I did not.
I don't know that I thought it was gonna be bad or good. I just knowing that it's going to a certain point. You know what I mean? Like that's
sure.
That's the part that is tough and is kind of hard to ignore.
Here's the thing about it that I think I was shocked by. The acting was really good. In those kind of movies, the acting.
Well, isn't he related? The guy who played Michael, isn't he somehow related to the Jackson family in some way? Yeah, like I couldn't remember how he was connected, but I was pretty sure there was a familial connection there.
And there's definitely, even without the prosthetics and the makeup, there is a natural connection, a look. Mm-hmm. He also has the kind of build Michael had, tall and lanky.
Especially in the 80s, in the young 80s era.
For sure. But like normally those kind of movies don't have like
it's Jafar Jackson.
Yeah. That's what we say. It's Jermaine's son. Yeah, it's his nephew. But also those type of movies don't really have actors like Coleman Domingo is Joe, and Coleman Domingo plays the fuck out of Joe. Nia Long is Catherine. It's so that you know what I mean. Like Miles Teller is John Brecker, his agent, his manager. So like so it's well acted. The script was as good as you could do it with the time period they gave it, and they couldn't obviously put every single thing in there, so they picked and chose But a really good story, really really impeccably acted, and the music and the boy ain't Michael. He ain't Michael when it comes to the dancing, but he was close enough for government work. So I enjoyed that.
Cool.
What role did Mike Myers play in it?
He was in the movie.
Yeah, apparently. You missed it? Okay, no big deal.
I know it was
Does it say his? Does it say the character he played?
comedian Mike Myers.
No, Mike Myers. I guess maybe he was just
I know he
appearing.
was in the Queen movie. He was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah, they got him cast in the movie.
Huh. Tony, what you watching, man?
Golf, sports, nothing outside of everything.
Entertainment.
What was it, Ray?
He was the CBS president. I didn't even recognize it.
Oh,
There's a
there you go.
part. So there's a part in the movie. This isn't a spoiler because it's a biopic. There's a part in the movie where Thriller just comes out and it's killing, but they're still on MTV because MTV don't fuck with black people. And Michael and Miles Teller, John Brinker, sitting in the CBS president's office, who's apparently Mike Myers, and it's telling them, "Hey, we want to be on MTV," and he's like, "Can't happen." And so he's like, "Well, you need to try harder." So he literally calls MTV dude up and says, "If you don't put Michael Jackson and Billie Jean on in the next 10 minutes, then everybody that I have on my roster, that's Bruce Springsteen, Cindy Lauper, Cheap Trick, all these people, we're gone." And next thing you know, Michael walks outside and the entire world is dancing to Billie Jean. It's crazy.
Cool.
Gordon Ramsay stuff, Next Level Chef, Master Chef.
Very nice. All right, this week I'm not going to tell you something that I'm watching. I'm going to tell you something that I'm reading because it is going to turn into a show. It's been optioned for a series. It's a popular. It's hard to describe if I would call it it's a science fiction, I guess would be the way to call it. It's called Dungeon Crawler Carl. It's a series of books that came out starting in 2020, and it basically follows the story of this guy Carl, who one night is attempting to get his ex-girlfriend's cat out of a tree. His ex-girlfriend has been cheating on him in the dead of winter in Seattle, Washington. It's like 3 a.m. when all of a sudden every physical building structure in the world collapses down upon itself, just sort of squishes, and including everybody who happens to be in a building at that time. Suddenly, a message pops up in kind of everybody's head that Earth is like in default of some intergalactic loan, and that everything has been destroyed on the Earth's surface as this syndicate attempts to collect. It's very Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. All remaining survivors of Earth can either choose to remain on the planet's surface and die when they do a full demolition, or they have a certain amount of time on the Earth's surface to find a portal and go down into this dungeon. There are 18 levels to this dungeon. Any human that makes it to the bottom level of the dungeon, all 18 levels, will then be given custody of Earth, basically become like ruler of Earth. However, there are points in which you can choose to withdraw and survive, or you could just die within the dungeon. Each level has a time limit for which you need to find the next exit, and it turns into a video game style of narrative when they get down in there. The main character, Carl, has a level. He gains skills as he survives within the dungeon. The cat, who is known as Princess Donut, also becomes a character that it gains the ability to talk. Princess Donut is like highly intelligent, and they are like these partners going through this dungeon crawl. And it uses it. I think the little O'Dowd actually would love this if he would read it, because it's very much video game lingo. They talk about heads up displays, inventories, they level up skills, they talk about mobs and crushing mobs. It's in NPCs are all over the place, and it's all about finding the next dungeon level. It's written with a wry amount of humor. The first book came out in 2020. It's up to 5 books now, and I'm almost done with book 1, and Carl's only on the second level of the dungeon. So there's a lot to go with this series, but it's turning into a television show.
So this is Dante's Inferno meets Escape Room meets Prison Break.
Meets
something like that.
Meets The Cube.
Okay,
Or and Baldur's Gate 3. Because it's
played as Baldur's Gate 3, yeah.
It takes a lot of RPG elements in the way that it describes stuff, and so there's more to it than that. But it's been a very fun read so far. I've enjoyed it thoroughly, and that's what I've been up to. So, and on that note, that's going to do it for this week's edition of Bandwagon Nerds. It did turn into a 2-hour episode because, as is typical of Patrick O'Dowd, when he promises a shorter episode, we go the whole time. Doesn't even matter.
Blame me.
Never. No, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. We probably would have gone 2 hours anyway. Tony and I were riffing. We were doing our thing. But anyway, since you showed up late, we're going to get rid of you first. Ray, after you get done sneezing, tell everybody where they can find you on the socials and on the Chair Shot Radio Network.
Taking some Sudafed. Check your boy out. It's Ray Cash, RAY as in Mysterio. CASH as in dollars. Check out the website at thechairshot.com, and we're on all the socials at Chairshot Media in some form or fashion. New site coming. I ain't talking about that shit. But what I will talk about is go check the premium event out for this month on thechairshot.com. What if every day a new what if column and question and column. And if you got eyes, I'm assuming you do. If they do, or if they work, I hope they do. Go check out our historical theme for this month, the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month photo journals. A lot of work's been put into these. Check that out.
Follow me at PC Tony, Chairshot Radio Network, all your favorite streaming platforms. What if Bret Hart's finisher was the Heart Punch? Wouldn't be so great, hey?
And you can follow me on all of your socials at Wrestling Realist. That is at WRESTLNGREALIST. You can also follow this show on X at Bandwagon Nerds. Make sure you're following at Chairshot Media. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. You can catch me every Monday, Tuesday, and occasional Wednesday. Mondays talking nerdy stuff with these guys. Shit stuff. We swear here.
It's been an adult day.
Tuesdays talking sports, usually with David Ungar, though this week I had a great time talking with Mr. PC Tunney. Wednesdays, talking wrestling with Craig DeMarco. God, Lord, brain and mouth not connecting. A lot of water. I am drunk on water. Talking wrestling with Greg DeMarco on the Greg DeMarco Show when we feel like it. That's going to do it for this week's edition of Bandwagon Nerds. Happy May the 4th, everyone. Now get yourself out of the basement. Get some sun. Watch whatever Star Wars makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy. Because that's what it's all about. Enjoying the entertainment in front of you. Thank you, everyone, for listening. This has been Bandwagon Nerds here on the Chairshot Radio Network, part of